You brush your teeth without thinking. You check your phone the moment you wake up. You reach for that third cup of coffee at exactly 2 p.m. These aren't just random actions. They're not meaningless routines. They're not accidents. They're windows into your soul, revealing everything about where you're headed in life and who you're becoming. Your morning ritual, your evening wind down, your weekend patterns, your stress responses, your celebration habits. Each one is a breadcrumb on the trail of your personal evolution. But here's what most people miss completely. What if I told you that your unconscious behaviors are actually the most honest fortune teller you'll ever meet? That the way you tie your shoes reveals more about your future success than your 5-year plan ever could. You think habits are about discipline. You think they're about willpower and motivation and grinding through the tough days. But that's where you're dead wrong. Habits aren't about forcing yourself to do things. They're about becoming the type of person who naturally does those things. And the gap between who you are today and who you're becoming tomorrow lives entirely in the space between stimulus and response. Think of your brain like a river carving through rock. Every time you repeat an action, you're deepening that neural pathway. Every choice is either reinforcing the old channel or slowly redirecting the flow towards something new. Neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity, but you can think of it as your personal renovation project happening one repetition at a time. Studies suggest that it takes anywhere from 18 to 254 days to form a new habit, with an average of 66 days. But here's the kicker. The timeline doesn't matter nearly as much as the identity shift happening underneath. Your habits are essentially votes. Every action is a vote for the type of person you want to become. Skip the gym once and you're voting for the sedentary version of yourself. Choose the salad over the burger and you're voting for the health-conscious version. Check your phone first thing in the morning, and you're voting for the reactive stimulus-dependent version. The beautiful thing is that you don't need a unanimous election, you just need a majority. Let's decode what your current habits are actually telling you about your personal growth trajectory. Your morning habits reveal your relationship with intentionality. Do you grab your phone immediately upon waking, or do you have a deliberate routine that centers you before engaging with the outside world? Research from Harvard Business School shows that people who start their day with intention-setting activities report 23% higher levels of life satisfaction and goal achievement. The person who meditates for 5 minutes each morning isn't just practicing mindfulness, they're practicing the meta skill of choosing their response rather than being a victim of their impulses. Your work habits reveal your relationship with delayed gratification and long-term thinking. Do you tackle the hardest task first, or do you spend your peak energy hours on email and busy work? The person who does deep work in the morning is voting for the version of themselves that prioritizes impact over activity. They understand that energy is finite and that your cognitive resources are like a battery that depletes throughout the day. This isn't about productivity hacking. This is about identity development. You're literally programming yourself to be the type of person who does important work when it matters most. Your social habits reveal your relationship with growth and feedback. Do you surround yourself with people who challenge you, or do you default to comfort and validation? Jim Rohn famously said, "You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with," but modern research goes deeper. Studies in social psychology demonstrate that behaviors spread through social networks up to 3 degrees of separation. Your friends' friends' friends influence your habits. The person who intentionally curates their social environment is voting for accelerated personal development. They understand that growth happens at the edge of your comfort zone, and that requires people who will lovingly push you past your current limitations. Your consumption habits reveal your relationship with information and mental diet. What do you feed your mind during dead time? Are you scrolling through social media, or are you listening to podcasts that expand your thinking? The average person consumes over 11 hours of media per day, but here's what most miss. Your information diet shapes your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions shape your results. The person who chooses educational content during their commute is voting for the learning-oriented version of themselves. They're treating their mind like a garden rather than a garbage dump. Here's where it gets really interesting. Your failure habits reveal everything about your resilience and growth mindset. What do you do when you mess up? When you skip the workout or eat the donut or lose your temper? Do you spiral into shame and give up for the day, or do you treat it as data and get back on track immediately? Carol Dweck's research on mindset shows that people who view setbacks as learning opportunities rather than identity threats show significantly higher rates of goal achievement and psychological well-being. The person who bounces back quickly from mistakes is voting for the anti-fragile version of themselves. They understand that consistency isn't about perfection. It's about getting back up faster than you fall down. Your money habits reveal your relationship with future self and delayed gratification. Do you spend impulsively or do you have systems for making financial decisions? The Stanford marshmallow experiment wasn't really about marshmallows. It was about the ability to delay gratification for a better future outcome. And that skill predicts everything from academic success to health outcomes to relationship satisfaction. The person who automates their savings and invests consistently is voting for the financially secure version of themselves. They understand that wealth isn't about income. It's about behavior patterns compounded over time. Your health habits reveal your relationship with your future self and self-respect. Do you eat because you're hungry or because you're bored, stressed, or celebrating? Do you exercise because you love your body or because you hate it? The person who moves their body daily and eats nourishing foods isn't just maintaining their health, they're practicing self-respect and future self-care. They understand that every meal is an opportunity to fuel their goals rather than sabotage them. Every workout is a deposit in their energy account rather than a withdrawal from their time account. Your learning habits reveal your relationship with curiosity and intellectual humility. Do you seek out information that confirms what you already believe, or do you actively look for perspectives that challenge your assumptions? The person who reads books outside their field and engages with ideas that make them uncomfortable is voting for the intellectually honest version of themselves. They understand that being wrong isn't a character flaw. It's a growth opportunity. And if you want to hit that like button right now, that habit reveals your relationship with engagement and community building. Your technology habits reveal your relationship with attention and presence. Do you use technology as a tool, or does technology use you? The average person checks their phone 96 times per day, which works out to once every 10 minutes during waking hours. You're training your brain to expect constant stimulation and interruption. You're voting for the distracted, reactive version of yourself. The person who has designated phone-free times and uses technology intentionally is voting for the focused, present version of themselves. They understand that attention is the new currency, and whoever controls your attention controls your life. Every notification is a bid for your mental real estate. Every app is designed by teams of behavioral psychologists whose job is to keep you engaged. The red notification badges, the infinite scroll, the variable reward schedules are sophisticated manipulation techniques borrowed from casino design. The person who recognizes this and sets boundaries is voting for mental sovereignty. Your sleep habits reveal your relationship with recovery and optimization. Do you prioritize sleep, or do you treat it like a luxury you can't afford? Sleep research shows that getting less than 7 hours per night impairs cognitive function equivalent to being legally drunk. The person who prioritizes sleep isn't being lazy. They're optimizing their operating system. They understand that rest isn't the opposite of productivity. It's the foundation of productivity. The person who has a consistent bedtime routine, who dims the lights an hour before sleep, who keeps their bedroom cool and dark, is voting for the high-performance version of themselves. During sleep, your brain literally washes itself clean of metabolic waste through the glymphatic system. Poor sleep habits aren't just making you tired, they're actively sabotaging your memory, creativity, and emotional regulation. But here's the deeper truth that most people miss entirely. Your habits aren't just revealing who you are, they're actively creating who you're becoming. Every repetition is literally rewiring your brain. Every choice is either moving you toward your goals or away from them. There's no neutral, there's no staying the same. You're either growing or dying, improving or declining, becoming more of who you want to be or less. The beautiful thing about understanding this is that it puts you back in the driver's seat. You're not a victim of your circumstances or your genetics or your past. You're the author of your future, writing it one habit at a time. And the best part, you don't have to change everything at once. You don't have to completely overhaul your life overnight. You just have to start voting differently. Pick one habit. Just one. Something small enough that you can't fail. Maybe it's drinking a glass of water when you wake up. Maybe it's doing 10 push-ups before your shower. Maybe it's writing down 3 things you're grateful for before bed. The specific habit doesn't matter nearly as much as the identity shift it creates. You're not just drinking water. You're becoming the type of person who takes care of their body. You're not just doing push-ups. You're becoming the type of person who prioritizes their health. You're not just writing gratitude. You're becoming the type of person who focuses on abundance rather than scarcity. Remember, this is just informational content and doesn't replace professional guidance if you're working on significant life changes or mental health concerns. Always consult with appropriate professionals for personalized advice. Here's what most people get wrong about habit change. They focus on the outcome instead of the identity. They say I want to lose 20 pounds instead of I want to become a healthy person. They say I want to write a book instead of I want to become a writer. They say I want to make more money instead of I want to become the type of person who creates value. But outcomes are lagging measures. They're the result of who you've become, not the driver of who you're becoming. Your habits are essentially a feedback loop between your identity and your actions. Your identity influences your habits and your habits reinforce your identity. The person who sees themselves as an athlete finds it easier to work out. The person who sees themselves as a reader finds it easier to pick up books instead of their phone. The person who sees themselves as a creator finds it easier to make things instead of just consuming them. Every time you follow through on a commitment to yourself, you're building evidence for a new identity. Every time you choose the hard thing when no one is watching, you're casting a vote for integrity. These micro moments of choice accumulate into massive shifts in self-perception. So what do your habits say about your personal growth? They reveal whether you're living intentionally or accidentally, whether you're designing your life or letting it happen to you, whether you're becoming more of who you want to be or settling for who you've always been. The gap between who you are and who you want to become isn't bridged by motivation or inspiration or waiting for the perfect moment. It's bridged by the compound effect of small, consistent actions repeated over time. Here's something most people never consider. Your habits are also teaching other people how to treat you. When you consistently show up on time, you're teaching others that your time has value. When you consistently follow through on commitments, you're teaching others that your word means something. When you consistently invest in your growth, you're teaching others that you're worth investing in too. Your external habits create your internal reality, but they also shape your external relationships and opportunities. Your habits are your autobiography written in real time. Every chapter is a choice. Every page is a day. Every sentence is a habit. And you're the author, editor, and main character all at once. The question isn't whether you have habits. Everyone has habits. The question is whether your habits are serving the story you want to tell about your life. Most people are writing their autobiography unconsciously, letting their past dictate their future. But conscious people understand that every habit is a plot twist waiting to happen. Every small change is a character development arc. Every consistent action is building toward the climax of who they're becoming. The beautiful thing about this perspective is that it means you're never stuck. You're always one habit away from a new storyline. What story are your habits telling right now? Are they saying you're someone who prioritizes growth, health, relationships, and contribution? Or are they saying you're someone who defaults to comfort, distraction, consumption, and stagnation? Neither answer is wrong, but only one leads to the life you actually want to live. If you want to know where you'll be in 5 years, look at your habits today. If you want to change where you'll be in 5 years, change your habits today. It's that simple and that profound. Your future self is watching. What are you going to show them? Don't forget to subscribe if this resonated with you, give it a like if you found value in these insights, and share it with someone who might need to hear this message about the power of intentional living. What's one habit you want to start voting for today? Drop it in the comments and let's build a community of people committed to becoming the best versions of themselves, one small action at a time.